If you're watching this video right now, you probably typed in something like robot lawnmowers or best lawnmowers 2026 in your search bar. I mean, I guess it's possible you might have typed in angelic man voice and somehow ended up here. Yeah, I get it. But today we're talking about robot lawnmowers, and not just any robot lawnmower. I got what I consider, and a lot of other people consider, the two most popular robotic lawnmowers on the market right now. And the real question is, can these actually replace your traditional mower, your riding mower, your push mower, your self-propelled, all of it? Because look, these things are not cheap. So before you go out and spend thousands of dollars on one of these, I want to walk you through what's actually like owning one of these. Not day one, not week one, but 1 year later. The good, the bad, the stuff that nobody tells you. This is 1 year later.
1 year later, should you still buy this tool?
Now, I get it. A lot of you are on the fence right now. You've seen these things all over the place. Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, GPS this, AI that. Every ad on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube is telling you this is the future. But the real question is, do you want to drop that kind of money on something and not even know if it can fully replace what you're using right now? An old Honda, Toro, whatever. Now, let's start with the first one. And this one is the one you've probably seen everywhere. This is Yarbo. If you've been on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you've seen this thing, and they're absolutely everywhere with ads. And I get it. You see it, and you're like, dude, that's insane. I want one so cool. But before you hit the buy, I've been running this thing nonstop for a year. So let's actually break it down. Now, at its core, this is a GPS-based set-it-and-forget-it mower. You set it up, connect it to Wi-Fi, map your boundaries, set your no-go zones, and that's basically it. It just goes. You can schedule it, forget about it, and it'll cut your grass the same way every time, every day, if you want it to. And honestly, that's the biggest selling point right here. It's pretty much hands off. If it rains, it knows. It goes back to its dock, it charges itself. You're not dragging cords around, you're not messing with anything, it just handles itself. And when it's actually cutting, it does a really good job. If your grass is overgrown, you can step it down gradually until you hit your desired height, and then just maintain it. I've got mine set to about 2.7 inches, and the stripes it leaves, well, they're legit, or some might say real nice-like. Like, did someone professionally cut my grass? Well, I don't know. And the other thing that surprised me is it's really quiet. Like, yeah, you hear a slight whine, but you can run this thing in the middle of the night and nobody's going to complain. You won't even hear it in your house. Now, technically, you can cut up to about 5 acres on this, but let's be real. It's not going to do that all at once. It's cutting, going back, charging, back out, cutting, going back. It's a process, which is fine as long as you understand what it's doing, and that's going to happen. And then you got this kind of, well, this thing's crazy category. Like everybody that walks by this one's cutting grass, they stop, take pictures, look, take video. It's pretty cool because it's not just a mower. I mean, this thing is literally a Swiss Army knife of mowers. You can swap out attachments like blowers and a snow blower attachment head, the trimmers that go around this thing. And then you got all the smart features. You got tilt sensors, you got, safety shutoffs, camera all around it. You can literally pull up the app and see everything around the mower while it's cutting. You can even talk through this thing. Like somebody walks through your yard, you can straight up just tell them get out, and it actually sounds clear, which is wild. But I do want to point out that there are some things that aren't 100% perfect with this mower, like some of the ads lead you to believe. And this is the stuff that people really don't talk about. So the first thing is the setup. It's not hard, but it does take a little bit of time. It's GPS, so you got to hook up your wiring, you got to set it to your Wi-Fi, you got to make sure that you have a good signal, you have a data center, basically an antenna that you have to put out either on the yard or on your house, and if it's not picking up signal, you got to move it and make sure that it finds signal. So there is a little bit that goes into setting this up. It's not just a plug and play. You have to have some technical know-how, and there is a little bit of a learning curve to this mower. So again, you're going to have to mess with it when you first get this thing to make sure that you know what you're doing. Now, the second issue that I have, after a year, I'm noticing mine is drifting a bit. And when you set up your boundaries, it's supposed to stay locked in. But now I'm seeing it go a few inches outside where it should be, which doesn't sound like much until it's running over your landscaping. And yeah, you can adjust it in the app, but redoing your entire yard mapping, that's a pain in the arse. Now, let's talk about something a little bit bigger, and That's the blade. Now, this thing uses razor style blades, not a full mower blade, and they work fine, but they're not perfect. They wear out a little bit faster, they don't always cut as clean, and they're more sensitive to the debris, which leads to the next issue: wet grass. If your yard gets wet, this thing will clog, and I mean fast. Springtime, forget it. If there's dew, moisture, anything, you're probably going to be out there cleaning it, and not just a little, like actually flipping it over and spraying it out, detaching the head and, taking care of business. And underneath this thing, there's a lot going on. More parts equal more stuff that get jammed up. Sticks, grass, debris, it all builds up under there. And speaking of that, you need to clean your yard. Pine cones, sticks, anything like that, you have to get it out of there. Because if that stuff gets underneath here, it's getting stuck or breaking something. There's no way around that. Now, there's another big issue one don't think about when you're ending up buying one of these mowers, and that's speed. This is not a go out and knock it out in 30 minutes mower. You have to plan your cuts. An acre could take up to a couple hours. And if weather rolls in, well, it stops. You're now working around the weather and timing. And then there's awareness. You have to know what's in your yard at all times, because while it has sensors, they're not perfect. I had a trailer sitting in my yard, same spot as always, moved it up maybe a couple inches. This thing went under it, caught the antenna, and ripped it off. Boom, done. Now you're ordering parts, waiting a week, and your grass is growing. And yeah, parts aren't cheap. Last thing I can say is it tears up your yard a little bit, especially in wet, moist conditions. Turns, repeated paths, softer ground, you'll get wear spots. You can minimize it, but it's not avoidable in certain conditions. So is it worth it? Well, here's my honest answer. There's a lot of negatives, but there are also a lot of positives, because at the end of the day, I can leave my house, go and run errands, come back, and my grass is cut. I didn't touch anything. In the summer when it's dry, this thing is absolutely incredible. The lines, they're consistent. The patterns you can change. You can even set different mowing styles. It just looks good when it's done cutting. And they're constantly updating it too. The firmware updates, new features, they're actively improving it all the time. So the final answer, can this replace your mower? Well, yes and no. If you live somewhere dry, yeah, this could absolutely replace your conventional mower, no question. But if you live somewhere like in Ohio, Pennsylvania, wet, thick grass, no, this is more of a supplement, not a full replacement. So it really comes down to your situation. But for me, I still love it. It saves me time. It works when conditions are right. And right now, it's out cutting my grass as we speak, and I'm editing this video. All right, now let's move on to the second mower, because this one here is completely different. So this right here is the Mow Raider. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, you've probably seen this one already. I've actually done a couple full videos on it. There's a 2-wheel drive version of this and a 4-wheel drive version. Today we're doing the 4-wheel drive. And I'll just say right now, if you live anywhere like I do, there's hills, uneven ground, and get the 4-wheel drive. Yeah, it costs a little bit more, but it's definitely worth it. This thing handles better, no question. Now, here's where things flip compared to the Yarbo. The Yarbo's GPS, set it, forget it, and it does its own thing. This is 100% controlled by you. It's basically a remote control mower. And the best way I can describe it is if you've ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where the kid is driving the mower around with remote control. Yeah, well, that's this, just way more powerful, and it runs on a battery. Now, what makes this one different is it's not a sit back and let it do everything mower. This is more hands-on, but in a weird way, that's also what makes it awesome. You've got full remote control on this. So super responsive, easy to use, and there are safety features built into it out the butt. And if you hit something, you get too close to something, it'll shut it down. It's not as loaded with the tech like the Yarbo, but where this thing wins is cutting power. You can literally sit on your porch and control it from a distance and cut areas you normally wouldn't want to walk into. Snake, bees, whatever. Let this deal with it, not your ankles. And because it's lighter than a big mower, it can go into wet, nasty areas without sinking like a riding mower would. I've only had this thing stuck once, and I was basically putting it into a swamp-like condition. But it's not perfect, and yeah, there are some downsides to this. So first one is visibility. If your yard is flat, and let's be honest, most aren't, you're not always going to see the cut lines perfectly. If you're cutting uphill, you're good. If you're looking downhill trying to see where you're cutting, well, it can get a bit tricky. Yeah, and sometimes you're moving around with it, maybe even dragging a chair with you so you can see what you're doing. And second, Even though it has an adjustable speed and you can slow it down in wet areas, it's still four-wheel drive. So if your yard's soft, it can chew it up a little bit. Not as bad as the Yarbo in certain cases, but still something to be aware of. And third, the remote. The mower charges fast. The remote, well, not so much. It uses a USB-C, which is great, but it charges slow. And yeah, it lasts a long time, but if you forget to charge it and you need to mow, well, you're waiting. And then there's the obvious one. It's not autonomous. You're still mowing. You're just not walking behind the mower. So this isn't just leave it and forget it or leave the house and it cuts your grass solution like the Yarbo. This is more I want control, but I don't want to physically do the work. So which one is actually better? Well, this is where it gets interesting because they're good at completely different things. The Yarbo is best for convenience. Set it, forget it, and let it maintain your yard, especially in dry conditions. The Mow Raider, this is a worker. This thing is way closer to a true replacement for traditional mowers because it doesn't care about conditions as much. It'll cut in the spring, it'll cut in the wet, it'll deal with the stuff your yard has that Yarbo might not be able to. And honestly, I find myself using them differently. Summertime, dry conditions, I'm using the Yarbo pretty much all the time. The spring and fall, wet and messy, unpredictable, I'm grabbing this one because I trust it more in those conditions. So the final thoughts, this can replace your mower. Yeah, I actually think this one can. You're still involved, but you're not physically doing the work. And in terms of capability, this thing is an absolute freaking tank, just designed as a mower. It's simpler too, one blade, easy to sharpen, easy to replace. No messing around with a bunch of razor blades, and it just goes through everything. So there you go. Two of the coolest robotic mowers you can buy right now in 2026. Completely different approaches, both with strengths and both with trade-offs. And honestly, I want to hear from you. Have you tried either of these? Would you trust one of these to replace your mower? Or are you sticking with the gas or electric for now? Drop in the comments, let me know. And if you want a full depth dive into both of these, I got the videos linked right here for you to check out. And if you got something out of this, hit that like button, subscribe, and back more videos soon.